Back on the Morning Brew with our next guest. He's making a return appearance. He was so good the first time. We had to invite him back. And we had to invite him back because he wrote another book, too. Rob Kresge is with us today, local author. And it's great to see you, Rob. Welcome back to the Morning Brew.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Rob, you're so prolific. It's incredible. I'm so impressed with just how busy and how devoted you are to your writing career.
Well, readers expect one book a year. That's pretty standard. If you're a best-selling author like Ann Hillerman or anybody, Lee Child, David Morrell, they expect a book a year, and so I'm busy working on number 5 in this series. This is a separate thing from Saving Lincoln.
Very good. Now, we had you on Saving Lincoln. You have it with you
Yes,
here today. And that book was, refresh our memories on this book. What was it about?
Well, that was about a plot against Lincoln that doesn't involve John Wilkes Booth. It was a wagon bomb plot, send it with explosives to blow up the White House while Lincoln is meeting with his generals. Quite late in the war. The South knows it's going to be defeated, so this is sort of a blow from the grave, that kind of thing. And it was fun to write, and since you mentioned it, it's been nominated for the Best Historical Mystery of the Year at BoucherCon, the world's largest mystery conference, to be held in Long Beach in November.
Here, let's hold it up.
And thank you, and I'm nominated with David Morrell of Santa Fe. So 2 New Mexico authors out of 5, and my publisher is the only small press publisher that had a book nominated.
So there was a plot, huh? I remember they portrayed it in the Spielberg movie Lincoln, where the White House was this sort of open place. You just kind of walked in, and
it was.
You know, the security wasn't around.
No, even
really.
even in the days of Andrew Jackson, they tell this well-known story that people could climb in White House windows and get to meet the president. You know, it was that kind of thing. They
He's sleeping over
so
there.
different now, isn't it?
They had receiving lines, and they would receive people who wanted to talk to the president every single day. I mean, now there's so much more for a president to do that kind of thing doesn't happen.
Yeah, I can't wait to read this, especially the whole tie-in with the Confederate Secret Service and how they're part of the plot. And
okay, we got a new book. It's called Warrior Hearts. Hold it up there,
all right.
Rob. Hey, listen, that's very nice. Nice cover. Look at that.
Yeah, this is the 4th in my Wyoming series. And this one has a touch of Shakespeare in it. It revolves around discovering a couple of bodies, a woman and the wife of an army officer and another army officer. Their bodies riddled with arrows. It looks like Indians did it. But my town marshal, Monday Malone, is able to see real quick through a bit of 19th century Western CSI that this looks like it's a frame-up, that Indians didn't really do this. But it raises tensions between Indians and soldiers and settlers. And at the same time, there's a school play going on in the town of Warbonnet to do Romeo and Juliet. The school teacher, Kate, my main character, has decided to let them do Romeo and Juliet. One of her students, her most precocious student, read the thing and decides she wants to be Juliet and kiss her boyfriend as often as she can on the stage. And the boyfriend is the son of ranchers, and she's the daughter of a farmer. So this brings up that rivalry that we're all familiar with from Romeo and from Oklahoma, in which it's farmers versus cowboys, that kind of thing. So that's how it got into the book.
Ah, how about that?
it's very suspenseful. Yes, I love mysteries, but setting them in the Wild West. Are you from the West, or how did you have such a spirit and a love for
I was lucky.
American
I was very lucky. My dad got a year at Stanford when he was with the Weather Bureau, and we camped all across the northern tier of the United States to get out there to California for that year. And when it was over, we camped back along the southern route through Santa Fe and Albuquerque. But I saw the plight of Indians today on the Pine Ridge Reservation. We got to go to it escapes me right now, Yellowstone National Park, the world's first national park, not just the nation's first, and that's in my 2nd book, so I put that in there. And I ended up writing about Wyoming because it was the first place in the world where women got the right to vote.
Oh, so that's why the setting.
That's why the setting for that. Yeah, I found out about that while writing it, and it was a very isolated place. There were only 3,000 people living in Wyoming, and nobody ever got off the train. You know, the Union Pacific was new. And people went right through Wyoming and went to where they were going. And the state legislature, 12 guys, said we're never going to grow and be a state if we can't get women to get off the train, because without women and families and schools and the rest of that, you can't develop the population that lets you be a state. So that was the rationale for that.
So you have a lot of conflict in this story. You got the cowboys and the ranchers, you have the cowboys and the Indians, you have all of these people with high tension.
Plus,
And a lot of conflict.
plus another one too. If you're familiar with Shakespeare's phrase, the green-eyed monster, of jealousy. The green-eyed monster raises its head early in this book, and it lasts right till virtually the last page.
Jealous.
Yeah, there's a character who's a carryover from the last book who now lives in this town, and Kate is afraid that Monday is falling for her, and so she has that on her mind, besides trying to stage the
jealous
play
woman.
and keep it secret. Because in this day and age, you and I all knew what Romeo and Juliet was about and how it turned out before we ever saw the play. But in this little town of 300 people, only 4 people know how it's going to come out, and she's kept the ending secret from everybody except her actors. A decision that she will later regret.
Well, great stuff.
No wonder his books are nominated, you know?
Rob, what are you working on now? Now that this one's out, where are you at?
Number 5 in this series is a year later. It's still in Wyoming, and it's called Unearthing the it will be called Unearthing the Bones, and it talks about rival teams of dinosaur hunters from back east who came out to dig up dinosaurs every year. There was a race on between these two groups, rivals. They would send an unearthed skeleton back to Philadelphia, and if the guy who put it back together says it's a new species, then these academics got the naming rights and they became more and more famous. And so they were quite the rivals. Gangs of thugs that they hired to be the laborers would fight each other. They used to bury their digs at the end of each year. It gets cold in Wyoming and they're going to go home and come back in the spring. They didn't want the other group to find them if they got out there first. Well, in 1873, after Alfred Nobel invents dynamite, they blow up those digs at the end of the year so that the other people can't use them if they do come out there first.
geez.
Perfect rationale for a murder, that rivalry. And so I'm going to have
course
a ball.
it is,
I'm
right?
going to have a ball writing it. Researching it is fun. You have to know when to. It's like playing in the playground. I go out and research. It's like playing in the playground, and you have to wait for your publisher or your wife, your mom, to call you in and say it's time to come in and write. Put your butt in the chair and hit the keyboard.
And that's how it gets done.
That's how it gets done. Right, right. There are adults supervising me.
Well, save one of these books for me because I want to send it to my friend
I will.
in LA.
I'll sign it after we're off camera.
Great, thank you.
How wonderful. Rob Kresge's latest novel is called Warrior Hearts. Hold it up again there, Rob. This is a novel, a historical mystery, and that woman on the cover there looks like she means business with that Winchester rifle.
She does. And on all my other covers, the two protagonists are on the cover together. Monday is not on this cover because he's not in this scene. They both have a lot of trouble at an Indian village. This is her trouble.
Always fun to talk to you.
It is.
Thank you.
And when you got another book ready, come and see us.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Rob Kresge, everybody, author. The new book is called Warrior Hearts. We'll be back.